So Tottenham were this morning thrown out of the Europa Conference League by UEFA after the governing body's appeals body ruled that they must forfeit their final group game against Rennes with a 3-0 defeat after the match was postponed early this month due to a COVID outbreak at Tottenham. Now, Spurs released a statement saying they'd accepted the decision and they were disappointed UEFA hadn't allowed more time for the game to be replayed, but surely the ruling is a blessing in disguise. It means there's no European football for Spurs in the second half of the season, leaving coach Antonio Conte with plenty of time to work with his players on the training ground. Conte, we know, is one of the best training ground coaches in the world, and we've already seen a dramatic improvement in Spurs and in a number of individual players in less than 2 months in the job. Just look at Sunday's 2-2 draw with Liverpool, where Dele Alli and Harry Winks and Ryan Sessegnon came in from the cold and really shone. These are players who a couple of months ago, before Conte came in, seemed almost beyond hope at Tottenham, but they look like proper players in that draw with Liverpool. That's the benefit Spurs will get from having no European football and a much freer schedule. It will reduce the pressure on the squad, allow them to focus on the league and perhaps get back in the Champions League for next season, which would surely accelerate Conte's project far more than continuing to play in the Conference League would. Obviously, there were sporting and financial reasons why Spurs wanted to progress to the knockouts. They're looking for their first trophy since 2008, of course, and there are financial benefits from the TV revenue and matchday revenue from the home games. But again, all of that would surely be offset by managing to get back in the Champions League for next season, a prospect which now feels far, far more likely because Spurs don't have to compete on that extra front. My own view is that the Conference League also just feels mildly embarrassing in every way. It was slightly embarrassing to be in it for Spurs. It was slightly embarrassing not to win the group. It was slightly embarrassing to face a playoff to get into the knockouts. And it might even be a little bit embarrassing to win it, such as the lack of prestige and renown for UEFA's new third club competition. So on the face of it, frustrating news for Spurs, or not the news the club wanted, but really you have to think there'll be a few people at the club who aren't too disappointed they've been chucked out of Europe this morning.